Thank you for watching this video of Liberalism in Industrial Society of the 19th century. We ask you to be quiet and listen to the video. We're going to talk about the Russian Empire in the 19th century.
Welcome to Russia, a country with 143 million people and also 17 million kilometers squares of land. Russia had to pass through darker times in order to get to this place. We had a Russia in the 19th century, a Russia with wars, with famines, and many other problems. This Russia only had 181 million people living, and 22 million kilometers squares of land.
Tsarist political structures, religious and social values, rules governing land ownership, and Russia's legal code all enforce the nation's social hierarchy, defining position and status, and restricting social mobility. The poor peasantry and the industrial working class made up more than 4/5 of the total population. The Russian social classes were formed by upper classes, royalty, nobility, higher clergy, 12.5%. These dominant classes were significant in the political influence. In Russian 18th and 19th century, the social life of the aristocracy revolved around a series of high society balls and all the finery they entailed: elegant postal invitations, gorgeous dresses, jewels, and other luxury symbols of the high life. At the Tsaritsino Museum, the Great Ball exhibition has opened, and part of the celebration for the 400th anniversary of Russia's Royal House of Romanov. Middle classes, merchants, workers, professionals, 1.5%. Working classes, factory workers, artisans, soldiers, sailors, 4%. Peasants, landed and landless farmers, 82%. The average age of marriage for Russia's peasant woman was 20. For the aristocracy and middle classes, it was a few years older. Russia had one of the highest child mortality rates of the Western world. By the late 80s, around 47% of children in rural areas did not survive to their 5th birthday.
These social classes were mainly because of the war. Money was needed to buy resources to fight. The first war we're going to see is the Crimean War. As the name says, the Crimean War was fought in the Crimean Peninsula between the Allies, Britain, France, Turkey, and Russia. This war was based on the argument that Russia was offering the Ottoman Turks to protect their Orthodox subjects and compete with France over the privilege on two churches in the now Palestine territory. Russia backed out of the pledge because Austria threatened to join the other allies and accept the Treaty of Paris. Another important war was the Napoleonic War. Napoleon first entered the Russian territory in June 1812 with 500,000 men. Russia had no chance with the best army in the world at that time, but it had a strategy to destroy the villages and private storages of the soldiers. And then make them have a retreat to the cities, so they will be left with no shelter and no food, and will die eventually because of the weather and the conditions. This decimated the Napoleonic army, and Russia won.
In the 19th century, Russia was one of the only countries in Europe that had a really slow industrialization. That's why Russia was considered an underdeveloped country, and obviously that dificulted everything for the economy. Also, the population started growing and Russia became one of the most populated countries, more than all of the other developed countries, and the majority of the people were of the rural side, the ones that are considered the low class. Also, in the time that we're living, rural population is considered the low class. All the country, and mostly the low class, did for maintaining the country as best as possible was agriculture. In the houses of the lower classes, as they lived in the rural side, they had lots of ground, and that was really helpful for agriculture. So we can say that all the economy in that time was in hands of the lower classes, as they knew a lot about agriculture and how to make money with it. Later on, from 1850 to the 19th, Russia's population continued growing, but the agriculture remained in hands of the rural classes. The good thing here is that agriculture helped Russia a lot, and in this period of time, they were developing faster than they did before, all thanks to the lower classes. The economy, as we said before, was based on agriculture. In this century, there had to be an increase in production because of a due they had. In the early 19th century, the Russian industry was considered like the level of the most advanced countries. The combination of modernity and backwardness in Russia made it pass from the most feudal country to the most modern and contemporary country of the world. Russian Railways is not only a strategic player in Russia, but is also expanding east-west and north-south Russian transport corridors to increase revenues and integrate Russia into the global economy.
What happened in Russia in the 19th century was a good example of people trying to get to a better place, in order to kill the bad government, in order to help each other, and in order to have justice and equality in everyone. Every single thing that we make is recorded in time. Every single thing that we make in our lives is counted as history.
The ship long ago, vibrations of tremors, the ship long ago.